Hey everybody. So it's officially springtime and April is finally here. Yay! So something that comes up a lot during springtime and especially in April since we've got Easter are eggs. So I'm thinking we need to do some egg projects. And today I've got my paper plate and I'm in my backyard and I'm gonna go around and collect some twigs and dried grass and some little strings and fuzzies, and I'm gonna see if I can build a bird's nest. Because where do we find eggs? Usually in bird's nest. So I'm gonna see what I can come up with, and I want you to see if you can do the same. Did you find anything, guys? No? We'll keep looking. So I was actually having a hard time finding anything I could use in the backyard. I got about maybe a third of its bird's nest, but a lot of it was still wet and kind of yucky from the rain and just kind of the morning dampness. And so I have moved out to my front yard where my driveway is, and I found a lot of good stuff on my driveway because it's got the concrete and it's not getting as wet and it's drying up faster. So if you're struggling to find some good stuff, ask a parent or an older sibling or somebody, see if they'll go out to the front yard with you and check your driveway, because especially places that have concrete or rocks, they're not going to stay as wet as where the grass is with the soil, so you might find some better dried twigs and grass there. Jackpot! Tons of dried up grass and twigs on the concrete right out in front of my house. Oh my goodness, you guys, look at all the stuff I was able to find and put together for a bird's nest. So I've got some twigs and I've got some like dried up grass and weeds from where I cut the grass the other day. And I even found a string, which I was really excited about. It's kind of silly to be excited about a string, but look, I have a string to wrap up in there and help tie everything up too, and some twigs and some leaves and all this amazing stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and start putting it together and building my bird's nest. And here's my finished bird's nest. Guys, that's a lot of fun. I really hope that you got to do this and that you have as much fun as I do. If you want to send me pictures of your completed bird nest, just email them to me and I'd love to see what you guys created. All right, on to egg project number 2. We're gonna see if we can dissolve the shell off an egg. For this project, all you'll need is a glass jar, an egg, and some vinegar. So ask somebody in your house if they can help you find those materials and we'll get started. So since my jar is pretty tall, I'm being very careful about putting my egg into the jar because I don't want to crack the shell. That would kind of defeat the purpose of the experiment. If I crack the shell, then there's not much point in dissolving it. Next, I'm going to fill my jar with vinegar. I just need to pour enough to cover the egg. Your egg might float just a little bit, but just enough over the top of the egg should be plenty. We don't want to waste any materials. Then I'm going to place my lid on my jar. Just place it down softly. We don't need to tighten it because we don't want pressure to build up in the jar. My egg's been sitting in the vinegar in its jar for about 1 day now, and it's starting to look pretty weird. I think I'm going to let it sit for a little bit longer before I try to take it out though, because I still see that it's kind of connected to the shell up there. So I want it to kind of get rid of all of that. Okay guys. So this is looking pretty gross, but I think it's pretty much as dissolved as possible because I'll pick it up, look. Ah, gross. So I think it's done. And I'm going to take it over to the sink now and take it out very gently. And we'll see if we can hold the egg without the shell. I don't really want to touch it. Alright guys, so I've moved over to my sink and I made sure that the side of the sink that I'm going to use is empty because the vinegar doesn't probably need to sit on dishes or anything. So if there's something in the sink, clean it out or just move to the other side of the sink where it's empty. Alright, so I'm going to take it out now. So I never really attached the lid. Like I said in the beginning of the lesson, we didn't need to attach it because we didn't want it to build up too much pressure. So just come right off, and vinegar smells really kind of bad, but that's okay. So I'm going
gonna pour off the vinegar. Oh, I don't know about this. Alright, all that's left in there pretty much is the egg and the fuzzy part that's where the shell's dissolved. So I'm gonna pour it in my hand. Oh! Oh! Oh no! No, it's really cool. Don't. Guys, this is so, it's weird. But it's not really pouring out. It's staying all together. I'm getting a little bit on my hands, but it shaped pretty well, which is not what happens when you crack an egg normally. And this, oh, gross. Oh, it's weird to touch. This is the eggshell that came off of it. And like you can tell where, like, look, there's some that still probably could have disintegrated if I'd left it a little longer. But this is so weird. Like that, it's almost like a little, oops. But this is my egg without a shell. Super weird, a little gross, but very cool. Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please make sure you wash your hands and don't make a huge mess. Have fun.
Before you go, I have a challenge for you. There are a lot of people in our community who are in assisted living homes, and because of everything that's going on, they're unable to see their friends and family. And I'd imagine that they're starting to get pretty lonely. Mostly because I'm thinking you guys are starting to get pretty lonely. So I'm hoping that you can help me spread some joy by creating some digital Easter cards. What I'm thinking is that you can draw, color, paint, or even make a 3D card and then take a picture of it. Or if it's like a 3D card, maybe a short video. And then you could email them to me and I can send them to some of these places and really just cheer up the residents and bring some joy to our community. So if you'd like to help me with that, go get started. Make an Easter card, take a picture, email it to me, and I'll send it out.